All right. That was a long intro. I'm gonna have to cut that down to like 3 minutes or so.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Miss Anita. Thank you so much. I am so honored to have you on the podcast. Truly, truly. Thank you so much. And welcome to everyone out there in, I almost said Radio Land. I'm about to date myself. Virtual land, the YouTube streets, right? The YouTube streets, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much. No hat today. I've been getting a lot of flack about my hats,
Okay.
so no hat today. So tell us, Miss Anita, how you doing this fine Sunday?
I am doing great. I am gearing up to head out of the country. I'm excited about my trip and a much needed, social media break. So I'm doing great.
Okay, cool. Hello to Miss my girl Les. Thank you so much. This is your first live. I used to do lives on another channel, on another platform. I haven't done it, man, in like 3 years. I stopped right before I went back to school, and I haven't done it since. So this is my first one. So I got to get back into it. I got to figure everything out. I thought I had the Instagram live figured out, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be connecting, or maybe it is connected. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much. We're going to have a great discussion for today. So we're going to get into it. So, Miss Anita, tell us about yourself.
My name is Anita Stoudemire, and my platform out there in the world is Better Love Movement. So any and everywhere, that's my website. That is my YouTube channel, my Instagram, my Facebook page is Better Love Movement. And my platform is all about helping to inspire and educate women to reclaim and return to their feminine ways. Help them to have the love that they really want. A lot of modern day women are very confused about how to date and mate and, have the relationship they want, have the love that they want. So I talk a lot about that. I do make content for the gentlemen also, but my platform is predominantly for women. So I have a lot of men over on my platform, and they give their 2 cents, and that's fine. But yeah, I'm known as AAA online, African American auntie. So love it. Never thought I'd be doing this at this age, but I love it.
Cool. Thank you so much. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember you saying that to me, that you had a lot of guys on yours, and I didn't really start my platform aimed at anyone. I really just wanted everybody to become the best version of themselves. So as I mentioned on your platform, I started off just talking about my doctoral journey. Nobody's watching that. Nobody cares about that. Okay. and then I mean, I got views 4, 5, 6, whatever. Nobody cares about that. And then when I started talking about, encouraging stuff, then more people started to pay attention. And now that I still want to do the self-improvement stuff. I really, really believe that. And I think that it'll help a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. People just work on themselves. When I start talking about more relationships type of stuff, I got more ladies wanting to hear my opinion than I have guys, which is curious. And I listened to somebody else, and he's constantly talking about how the guys on his platform, he calls it running over to the women, because they want to talk to the women. So it's just that I guess that's the way that it is. Everybody wants to hear the opinions of everyone else. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. There's going to be no gotcha questions and all that kind of stuff. We're going to have a great conversation. And then I really want the people in the audience. We've got 17 people watching right now. Thank you so much to all of you. Make sure that you hit, at least say hello, hi, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, please. That's really, really important.
There you go.
Yeah, and then just make sure that you do that. You say hello, and if you got a question, start thinking of them, and then as we finish off, we will, as Miss Anita and I finish our conversation, then I'll include your questions and all that. So I think that my channel has been monetized, so there should be super stickers and things like that. I'm sure. Again, I got to get back into this. I was playing with this since like 2 o'clock, so I couldn't figure out how to do all that. But I should have super stickers, and I'll also put up if you guys want to buy me lunch or whatever, you can. I'll put my Cash App and Venmo up there as well. So, all right. So so you started off your channel because you wanted to help women get back into their femininity. What have you seen in this modern time and era as we talk about this? What have you seen?
Well, we've seen since the 60s, since the first wave of feminism, We've seen women want equal rights. We've seen women who want the ability to work and women who want the ability to kind of do what men do. And I always preface my conversations by letting people know that I am all for gender equality. I am not a subscriber of feminism because feminism is now in its fourth wave and there is nothing grand about it. So I cannot put my stamp on feminism, but I would say, yes, I do want men and women to have the same opportunities, to make the same money, and, to be able to do the same things in life. I do agree with that. But what feminism has become is it's almost a hate group. It's become a hate group. And it's all about lifting women up at the expense of pushing men down. And now women are starting to see, okay, I've got all these, I've got all these degrees and I've got all this stuff, but I have no one to share it with. And I'm like, yeah, because they did not prioritize family. They did not prioritize marriage. They did not prioritize men, standing beside you and you standing beside him. And so a lot of women are now, oh, where's my man? Okay, but you said you didn't need a man. They told you didn't need a man. So that's what happened. Okay. So yeah, that has, that's going to color this entire conversation. And again, it has gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. 60s, 70s, 80s, and all the things we saw come out of that, the advent of birth control and abortion and all of these things to so-called, level the playing field, right? But me personally, as a believer, as a Christian, God never wanted men and women to be the same. He created us different for a reason. We're the perfect complement to one another. And so that's why we're in this conundrum now. There are no roles, there are no gender roles. It's just egalitarianism. And the truth is, I don't believe that works. It has not been working. So we got to do something different.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. This idea of feminism and almost being a hate group, that is interesting because I know that they've been trying to label men, the manosphere, the red pill community, as a hate group, and
Right.
it's curious to me because I sense so much vitriol on I'm on Medium, where people write on stuff. And I wrote a couple of articles for Medium. And just what I've read, just from a lot of ladies, just like it's just crazy. It's crazy. And even when I try to read some supposedly innocent, middle of the road type of stuff, it still comes off as guys are just a bunch of misogynists.
Right.
I'm not a misogynist at all. I don't hate women. I don't hate. To label that type of group like that is, these different dynamics is really difficult. So, but thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Do you think that you're gaining any traction? Let me ask you that. Are you gaining any traction?
I have more 20 somethings, and I'm really, really proud of that. I'd love to grow my community towards the 20 somethings because a lot of young women are saying, no one ever talks about this. My mom didn't tell me this. My grandmother didn't tell me this. Those are the people, those are the women that I want to reach, because if it continues going the way it's going, they're going to wake up at 40 unmarried, no children. They're going to lose their opportunity to have a family. And ladies, you may not agree with this, but the way God designed us is that we are relational. We get a lot of our feel good, our worth and value based on our relationships. And that's relationships with our friends, our family, our husbands, our children. We take a lot of pride in those relationships being good and healthy. And so, I have girlfriends who, have a bunch of degrees and they have a bunch of accolades at work and they make a bunch of money and they have a bunch of stuff and they're on antidepressants. They're on antidepressants. So it just ain't hitting right. It just don't hit the spot, and it's because that's not how God made you. Now, men love that. Men love that. I have guy friends who are like, yeah, I wish I had Tammy's money. I wish I had Tammy's education. Like, that does it for them. That's how God made you all. He did not make us that way. And we have to honor that. We got to honor that if we want to get back to that feel good space.
Have you spoken or had any spoken to, debated with any feminists who think that? Because they would say, listen, we need to be more like men. We need to be in the workforce. We need to do, you fill in the blank. Have you spoken to any of them or whatever?
I would love to have those conversations. Now, here's what's funny. I've been on a lot of red pill podcasts. I was on Richard Cooper's podcast. I've been in a lot of red pill spaces. Um, and it's funny because when the podcast is over, they give me the highest compliment that a red pill guy can give me, which is, you're very stoic for a woman. like you never lost your cool. You never, like, we never saw you sweat. And I was like, no, I'm what's called an integrated woman. And so, once I have women reclaim their femininity, I then help them to become an integrated woman. So I said, yes, that's the goal for all of us, is to be able to integrate both of those energies. So, but yeah, I have not been on any feminist podcasts or feminist spaces. I would love that. So yeah, I would love the opportunity to debate these issues.
Okay. Listen, you let me know. I definitely want to see that. I'm gonna sit there right there with my popcorn and watch that.
Yep.
In your opinion, what's the state of Black love in the U.S.?
Unfortunately, we have embraced a lot of toxic cultures. And it's funny because the number one thing that people say on my platform whenever I bring these things to light, they say, well, Anita, that's been around forever. Baby mama, baby daddy's been around forever. And, drug use has been around forever. And, men not working and living with the woman, living off the woman, that's been around forever. All this stuff's been around forever. But we can all agree that, and the statistics don't lie, right? So in 1974, 76% of Black people were married. Okay, the statistics don't lie. The numbers don't lie. It is 2024. The last statistic was 2022. We're at 34% married. So the numbers don't lie. We are not creating strong families. We are not marrying. We're still having children, but even the birth rate has gone down. But we have gotten away from what was, for a very long time, the Black community was actually pretty conservative. They were pretty much like family values and faith and all the things. We are getting away from all of that. And it shows. It shows in our music. It shows in our other media. It shows that, I made a video about baby mama, baby daddy culture. Like, that is completely unacceptable. People would have been ashamed to do that, have multiple children by multiple people. And now that's the norm. So we're in trouble. We're in trouble, and we have to wake up. We have to do things differently. And if not, we're going to see us. And it's not necessarily, people say, well, what could happen? Would we go extinct? I don't think we would go extinct. I think we would be so low down the totem pole, like so low down the totem pole that, what we think doesn't even matter. Like, they love our dollars. Like, they love our dollars. But in terms of, our thoughts and our opinions, it just wouldn't even matter anymore.
That's really depressing.
Yeah.
Do you think that, I mean, somebody brought up the point about being conditioned. Do you think it's a plot?
Yeah.
How do you think we got to this place?
I mean, I have a lot of, probably what I would consider to be unpopular opinions, because people will try to blame it on 400 years of slavery and all of that. However, as I said, just today, I did a live today, and I said, why have we moved forward technologically? Why do we have more opportunity, more, you know, access, and yet people are doing worse? Like, what's happening there? Why are people doing worse? They're doing their mental health statistics down. You know, we've got all these the financial statistics down. Why are we doing worse? And yet we have all these technological advances. So we can't blame it on, 400 years of slavery forever. At some point, we've got to make a decision that, we have all this opportunity, and what are we doing with it? Or why are we not doing anything with it? That's my question.
It's a good question. It's a good question. I certainly would like to do something about it myself. I mean, which is why I kind of started with my channel and all that.
Yeah.
So it's really disappointing. And I want to let me read some of these chats here. Let's see. Cassandra says that's sad that guys don't embrace self-improvement. Yeah, well, I mean, it was growing. I'm not saying it wasn't growing, but it's not as popular. It's not as popular as, unfortunately, this subject, which is interesting, and I want them to embrace that.
Right.
Hello, Lori. Thank you so much. Hello from St. Louis to Darla. Regina says great conversation. Cassandra says the red pill's misogynist. I disagree with that. I disagree. I think that the red pill is an idea that just wakes men up to what is. Are there some elements to it that where it can go down to a bad path? Absolutely. I certainly think that people ought to stay away from those types of things. But just to lump that in there, I don't agree with that. At the same time, men are not being conditioned to want family. Are you seeing a lot of that?
Because think about it. And it to me, it's just fascinating, right? At a time where, back in slavery, when we couldn't marry, all we could do was jump the broom. And then we are marrying, but now it's like, okay, but educate yourself, get your money up. Like we're seeing all these other things that are more important than family. So yeah, I've had several female clients, male clients. No, my parents never talked to me about family, never talked to me about children. They said, go to school, get as much education as you can, get your money up, get a business, do this, do that. Nothing was said about family. And that's what we were all about. Faith, family, like that's what we were all about. So we are getting away from that.
You mentioned that you had a few friends who had a bunch of degrees, what I would call boss chicken it up, and they said that they're that they are on antidepressants and other medications. Do you think that would they admit to you or to anyone that, listen, this was wrong, this was the wrong way to go?
Oh yeah, they do. And again, whether it was their mothers that were, wives and moms, and maybe they were stay-at-home wives or moms, and they felt, somehow trapped or controlled. And so they're like, oh, I don't want my daughter to go down this path, so I'm going to push her down a different path. And they did. And unfortunately, there was no balance in that. Now, me, I was a school teacher. That's my first career. And I was doing that when I met my then husband. But it was always my intention to marry and stay at home with my children. And that's what I did for 12 years. And I loved it. I always tell people that was the best 12 years of my life. So to me, it's all about balance. It's not to say I'm uneducated. I am educated. But everything has to be in a hierarchy. And so at one point, I prioritized being a teacher. At another point, I prioritized being a wife and mother. At another point, I prioritized, going back into the workforce. Now I'm at the season where I work for myself. I'm an entrepreneur. So everything is about hierarchy. And what do we want to focus on? I tell women on my channel all the time, you cannot have it all at the same time. That's it.
I met a lady one time who said that she wanted to have it all at the same time. It was an interesting conversation. Couple more chats here. So much trauma bond and people not healing, jumping from one toxic relationship to another. I agree. Truth Her says people are doing worse because the mind is depending on technology to guide and socially conditioned. Yeah. Somebody just asked me yesterday, or maybe it was today, can I do a show about social media? And I responded, listen, I did 2 of them already. I'm thinking about doing another. I'm thinking about doing another one, but but social media is really technology is just. I noticed a lot of bashing of single mothers. I'm assuming you're talking about the red pill. Um,
Right.
I hear a lot of men don't marry. The caution: don't marry a single mother because X, Y, and Z. Um, which I'm not in 100% in that camp of. I think you
Hmm.
got to understand what's going on, but I'm certainly not. I'm not in favor of bashing anyone. And I think if you can find
Yeah.
love, you find love.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
yeah,
That's it. And think about it like this. So, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion. You ready? This is going to be an unpopular opinion.
hold on,
Um,
everybody, hold on.
so can I infer something about you if you have made a certain decision over and over and over? The answer is yes, right? And I do want people to use discernment. There is a way to know about what a person's going to do in the future by looking at their pattern. That, and people want to fight me on that, but that's what humans have shown us, that we will have a glimpse into the future based on a person's pattern. So I wouldn't meet and date or mate a man who had multiple children by multiple women, because that I can infer things about him. I can say this man might not be sexually disciplined. This man might be a little reckless. He might be a little irresponsible. So that's a hard conversation that we have to have. That one time could be okay, this happened. It could be a oops. But if we're doing this multiple times, like, we've got to look at, that's a pattern. We've got to look at this person's pattern.
So there's the idea of mate selection. Um, oh man, the term just eluded me.
Hmm.
Basically, where ladies look at men who are already chosen, right? Pre-selection, I think that's what it's called, pre-selection. In
Mm.
other words, if you see a guy, and this is what some pickup artists, advise people to do: walk around with wedding rings, right? Because if
Mm.
you have a wedding
Mm.
ring on, that shows that you've already been pre-selected. And so when you look at people, I mean, these are extreme examples, right? Of Nick Cannon, who's
Right.
got
Mm.
a bunch of
Mm.
kids, right? But there
Mm.
is an idea, right? And to your point, why is a woman selecting a man
Right.
who has two and three baby mamas, different baby mamas? Why are you selecting that man?
Right.
What's going on with that, right? So this idea of pre-selection, that you want somebody because he's obviously got something about him, whether it's money or swag or game or his body or whatever. He's got something that
Mhm.
everybody else saw, and I want to see the same thing too.
Right.
So,
Right. But I'm going to be frank. Those people are not healthy, whole people.
mm,
Healthy, whole people don't do that. Healthy, whole people are not turned on by people in marriages or relationships. They respect that person's relationship and they're like, wow, great for them. But they don't go after people who are already in healthy relationships. They're like, no, I don't. I'd like to have my own husband. I'd like to have my own, child's father. I'm not interested in, and some of this is evolutionary psychology, but thankfully, again, just depending on how everyone was raised, I was raised on love, as I like to tell people, not trauma. I was raised on love. I was created in love. My mom and my dad were madly in love with each other when I was created. And I feel blessed. I feel blessed that that was the case, because now we're seeing an entire generation of people who were not created on love, who were not raised in love. They don't even know what that is. And
mm.
so that's why women are going after money, men are going after sex. People who were created in love and raised on love, they, like the video you had the other day where you said, what is the benefit of a woman? And I was thinking, yeah, there's like so many benefits that we can't even, we can begin to name them, but there's so many benefits. And love is the biggest one. To have two hearts connect in a genuine way, to feel known, to feel seen by another person. Oh, it's amazing. But when I say that, when I talk to young people like that, they're like, what? It's crazy. That's crazy, Anita. It's sad. It is really sad. They've never experienced genuine love.
Yeah, that is definitely sad. I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
I want to get through some of these questions here. Can you tell us what you think men or a man wants in a relationship?
I think men want a woman's feminine essence. I think they want someone that they can collaboratively create something with, because that's God's grand design. A man and a woman must come together to create another human being. Now, there are plenty of other things that men and women can come together and create. And so they want to come together. They want to create something good. Um, they want to be accepted. That's a big one. Men want to be respected and accepted. They don't want to feel like they have to change or be someone they're not. They want someone who's cooperative and collaborative. They want to find someone who is willing to submit to their vision and appreciate their vision. And so, two healthy people, they come together and they co-create a fantastic relationship. It's like building a house together. You build your dream house together with everything in it that you both want, and you move in and you live in it, and you maintain it. You maintain it over all the years. That is what healthy relationships are. But modern day people do not have good relationship skills. Like, they really suck at that. And so, they're good at short term. They're good at flings. They're good at hookups. They're really good at that, but long-term love, they don't have a clue what that is.
Mm, mm. How does a man attract a quality woman?
He's going to be a quality man. He is going to have a vision and a purpose for himself and his life. One of the questions that I ask men on my channel all the time, and it is very rare that they answer it, is they have to know what they want a woman for. And they can't, for some reason, they can't answer that question. They really struggle with defining, what do you want us for? What are we here for? So I would ask a man to really sit down, work on himself, of course, right? Work on himself, work on his fitness, work on all the areas of his life, work on his faith, work on, being an intellect, and all of the things. But get clear about what you want a woman for. And again, I've been on Red Pill podcasts, and I respect the man that says, I want a woman for sexual fulfillment. I respect that. It's clear, right? It's very defined. It's very clear. But most men cannot tell the woman what he wants her for. What is this? What are we doing? Most men can't define that. But yes.
I think that and I agree with you that the kudos to the guy who can speak up and say that. But I think a lot of guys want to say that, but they're just fearful that if I say that, then it'll just be whatever. Or maybe they're just immature, Who knows?
Yeah. But I even respect a man who says, sexual fulfillment. I have sexual needs that I'd like to be met by this person. And I go, okay. I said, and what will you give in exchange? Right? What would you, how can a woman benefit? So she's going to provide sexual fulfillment to you. And how will you benefit her? And a lot of those men, they can talk very directly about what they're willing to, I guess, exchange for. Okay. So again, I respect that, but I know it's more than that. And it's something that sometimes men can't clearly define, but I want them to. I want them to define, why are you on the dating app? Why are you walking up to me in Starbucks? Why are you walking up to me in the post office? What is your intention for me? What is your intention for me? And again, I respect the guy that says, yeah, I'm looking to get laid. I actually respect that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See?
Now you know what to do with that. You know what to do with this guy, right?
That's it. That's it. And guess what? In 2024, there are women out here who are also looking to get laid.
Right.
So it's not even like, oh, I won't get laid if I say that. No, there are women out here who want that too. and
Yeah.
that's all they want. So I want you to find those women, because there are other women out here who are like, I'm looking to be a wife one day. I'm looking to have a family. I'm looking to co-create something together. Right.
Right.
And so that wouldn't be a good fit. That's all.
Let me get to some of these more of these questions here or
Yep.
comments. If we were innately born to procreate, why can't it happen organically? Why would you expect that to be fostered in you by your mom? That's from PC. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, my concern is not necessarily that it's fostered in. I do believe it's natural and normal to want to do that, but we are programming women not to do that. That's what we're doing. That's wrong. That's bad. How dare you want to stay at home? How dare you want to have 5 kids? How dare you want to, like, we're going in the opposite direction. I remember it. I remember several girlfriends that I graduated college with, and they would come over to my house, and I'm at home with my children and taking care of my home and cooking and, taking care of my husband. Oh, you're just so oppressed, Anita. I can't believe this is what you're using your degree for. Oh my God. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I live in a beautiful home in a gated community. I drive a brand new BMW. I get to take naps and get my nails done during the day, and I don't pay for any of it. like, that don't sound oppressed to me. like, I don't have no reports due on Monday. I'm actually taking care of the people I love.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So that don't feel oppressive to me. Right. And
I
I
get
have
you.
access to all my husband's paycheck. Like, that feels good to me.
I get you on the no reports due on Monday. Oof.
Yeah.
I had to get out of that job. Oh my, okay. What did I do to myself?
Right. Yep.
In this day and age, women just want money from men. What are your thoughts about that? Thank you to Miss My Girl Les.
Yeah, there are a percentage of women, because remember, I said earlier, these people were not raised on love, right? They weren't created in love, and they weren't raised on love. So they don't even have a clue what that's about. For them, a relationship is transactional. I give you this, you give me that. And so that's kind of how relationships are going to go for them. But I think that percentage of people, again, it's going to greatly depend on how they were created, how they were raised. Yes, those people do tend to be like that. Those women tend to be like that.
Cassandra says, there are not enough men that want to get married. Have you the men that come onto your channel? What are they saying they want marriage? Are they just coming to bash? Or I mean, what are
I
you
would
saying?
say maybe 15% of them want to be married. I would say most of them do not. Most of the men on my channel are pretty respectful. I appreciate that. They're pretty respectful. They give me their honest opinion, and I accept it. But yeah, between family law and men who've already married and divorced, and maybe they got taken to the cleaners, maybe they got their children taken away from them. There are men who have seen this, like it never happened to them, but they saw it. So they're gearing away from it. You've got men going their own way. You've got a huge percentage of men that are like, nope, I may have a companion. I'll never live with a woman. I'll never marry a woman, and definitely under the state, so that I would agree. I'd say 85% of men, are not pro-marriage, unfortunately.
Now, what do you think that women such as yourself should do about that, especially the laws? I think that I think that if women want to get married and you're listening to the complaints that they can get taken to the cleaners,
Yeah.
et cetera, take kids taken away, do you think that it's up to the women to vie for changes in these laws? What are your thoughts?
Right. I think all of us need to, because this is what I find so interesting. So feminism is touting equality, but we're not seeing that in the court system. So if you all are down for the, everything being equal, why wouldn't the children go with the mother half the time and the father half the time? Why would it be that neither one of you would pay child support? Why wouldn't you just take care of the children when they're with you? So we don't see that. That's what's so interesting about feminism. It will say, oh, we want to do it over here, but not so much over here. And in my mind, okay, you all want everything to be fair and equal. Then when divorces go down, nobody gets a thing. You get your children split down the middle, week on, week off, or however you do it, and nobody gets a thing because that's what you say you want. You want things to be fair and equal. But see,
There,
they're not applying it over there.
no, they are not. Right. With the
Mhm,
new, well, not new, but the guy running for president,
mhm,
JD
mhm,
Vance,
mhm.
he's been on the record as far as the end of no fault divorce, and I think Texas is looking at it, and a couple other places,
Good.
for exactly what we're talking about, right? And nobody's saying and they're trying to paint it as this bad idea. Nobody's saying that you have to be trapped into a marriage that you can't ever
Right.
leave.
Right.
You just don't get anything.
That's it. That's
You
it.
just you want to leave for no reason, right?
Yeah.
Not because the man is putting his hands on you, not because
That's
he's
it.
repeated cases of infidelity,
Yep.
whatever, not a reason. You can
Yep.
go ahead and leave, but you don't get anything.
I
Not even the
agree.
kids.
I
Not even
agree.
the kids. And that's the way it should be, because we made a contract and a pact. And if you want to break it, and not
Yeah.
because I broke it, then go
Yeah.
ahead and leave. But
I
you don't get
agree.
anything on the way out. So
I agree. I have a fault divorce. So that was 21 years ago when there was such a thing here in Virginia. And I have a fault divorce. Okay. And because we did not live in the same state, we could not share 50-50 custody. So I did get predominantly most of the custody. Um, and I did my best, to say, yeah, take them for this week, take them for the weekend, do this, do that, and I did receive child support. Um, but I would like to see us return to that there has to be a reason. Abandonment, adultery, domestic abuse or violence, like there should be a reason. But like you said, a person that I just don't want to be married anymore. Okay, no, like you said, the law can't keep you married, but it will not benefit you either. The
yeah,
divorce will not benefit you. That's it. And look, apparently, because women are working and they're making all the money and they're doing so well, okay, what do you need the child support for?
yeah,
Right?
crazy.
Because you're making just as much as a man. I'm confused. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Mm,
It makes no sense. So you want the feminist stuff here, but you don't want to put it here.
mm.
You can't pick and choose. Like if y'all want to be equal everywhere, all the time, all across the board, then let's apply that. That's it.
I agree. Steph Bell says, I've recently read a book on love attachment style and has helped
Mhm.
me in my healing journey and getting to know myself before I start a new relationship. Good
Good.
for you.
Yeah.
My girl says, is there any benefit for a man raising another man's seed? This is a hot button red pill topic right here. This is a manosphere talking point. Let me get your opinion about that.
Again, I'm going to answer this question from a spiritual perspective, right? We're always doing things for people we don't know. As a believer, I'm always doing things for people I don't know. I gave a man $5 yesterday who was at the cross light. What's any different? Right? It's a decision that the man has to make for himself. But if you are a good person, if you abide by the golden rule, you do things for people. Okay. They don't have to be blood related. They don't have to be, you don't have to share DNA. It's called being a good person. And every man has to make that decision for himself. That's a decision he has to make for himself. But there are spiritual benefits, right? God rewards us for just being a good person. And there have been plenty of men who've raised up children who went on to become famous, who went on to become rich and all of the things. And they say, yes, this guy stepped in. I didn't know my dad. My dad wasn't around. This guy came in and stepped in and was a good father figure to me. So I'm always going to answer that question from that perspective. And the red pill guys, because they're not people of faith, they're going to, oh, no. Well, okay, without bringing faith into it. Sorry, that's woven into the fabric of who I am. So I don't have any other answer for you.
Gotcha. Let's see. Cassandra says, I think the black dynamic is a little different because black men are not encouraged to be family men. Black women are not embracing feminism. I don't think that's true. I know a
Right.
lot of black feminists. I know a
Right.
lot of them. On
Right.
my other channel, I did a whole hour and a half breakdown of ratchet feminism, which don't get me started on that.
Okay.
Don't get me started on that. But that was black feminist scholars who are
Right.
embracing ratchet feminism. Black
Yep.
women are not embracing feminism. They don't have men to select at all. What are your thoughts about that? I got a lot of pushback, and I continue to get pushback, but I'm going to keep on saying it, that this whole idea of the educated lame and all this stuff, right? A
Mhm.
lot of women don't want that type of dude. They want a socially adept guy. They look down upon guys with doctorates, all
Right.
this type of stuff. What are your thoughts about that? Am I wrong, or what's up?
There is a percentage of men that women don't see. And I find that to be really, really sad. There is a large percentage, I would say 70%. There is a 70% percentage of men that women just don't even see. You all cross them every day. You walk by them every single day. And that, in my opinion, is what we call the dark horse. That is an untapped market, right? I chose a dark horse. I chose a man in medical school, didn't have a dime, didn't come from money, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna start at the beginning and instead of waiting at the end. Like I'm going to rock with him, right? I'm going to rock with him. This is his vision. This is his purpose. And he was like, yeah, this is what it's going to be one day. And he didn't have a dime, but he was in medical school, and that was something of his own doing. Like I didn't tell him to do that. He was like, this, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to open this business, and then I'm going to have this. And I was like, wow, that sounds great. All right, sign me up. Sign me up. We're not doing that enough. We're not picking a dark horse. We're waiting at the end of the line. We're waiting at the finish line. And so, there's an untapped market of men out there. I have several male friends that I'm like, they show me their dating apps to like not a single not a single message, not a single like, not a single. I'm like,
I used to think mine
wow.
was broken. This can't
Yes.
be I thought it was broken. It's crazy. So,
A
yeah.
large percentage, ladies. See, y'all don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. You are passing by this guy at Starbucks. You're passing by this guy at Target. You're passing these men by at work. You're passing them by, and I'm sorry. You all need to take another look. Take another look. Let me look at Larry in the mailroom. Is Larry going somewhere? Maybe Larry need a little. He need a little boost, right? Take another look. Okay, because my ex-husband is a multimillionaire now, but he did not start out that way. He was a med school student. I was a kindergarten, first grade teacher. We were brokety broke. And yes, we built and create something amazing, but nobody wants to choose the dark horse. That's the
Mm.
problem on our side. That's what the women need to work on.
Listen, I'm glad you're saying it. 'Cause
Right.
listen, I would break my fingers trying to reply to all these messages about about how wrong I
Mm-mm.
am and stuff.
Yep.
Truth Her says some mothers solely have children not to control the man, but to have autonomy over their children. Sometimes that's the only control they have in their life, in their mind. Right.
That's sad.
Very. All right. I got three more questions, and then we'll continue on with these.
Yep.
Um, when a woman says she wants an emotionally available, emotionally intelligent man, what does she mean?
She basically means she wants the man to have the ability to love her. That's it. Can you love me? Can you fall in love with me? I have developed some rules, some guidelines that people don't like, but it's the truth. And, I don't tend to date men if they've been married and divorced more than once. And and men ask me, like, why is that? I said, because divorce and heartache, I mean, it destroys a man. It destroys him, and his heart gets harder and harder and harder. And the more he goes through that, so it's not just one divorce, it's two divorces, it's three divorces. Like, he does not have the capability to love again. He has the capability for companionship. He has the capability to, do things together and, go places together and hang out and have sex and all of that. Does he have the capability to love? And can he be devoted to me?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm looking for, is devotion. So not just in name, not just on Instagram. I'm talking, you're responsible for me and I'm responsible for you. So life's going to be great, and we're like, wow, life's going to get hard, and we're there for each other. Like, we just want you to have the capability to love and to be in love. Okay. It may take time, right? And I always tell women this: it's not going to happen in a month or 2 months or 3 months. It may take time, but I want you to assess his ability to love. Does he have the ability to empathize? Does he have the ability to put himself in your shoes? Does he have the ability to devote himself to you? That's it. I don't want a man sitting around crying. I don't want a man talking about his feelings all the time. I simply want to know that he's capable of one day waking up and saying, I think I love Anita. like that's it. That's it. And unfortunately, what experience has taught me is if a man has had more than one divorce, that probably is not going to happen.
Very good. In modern dating, what's a man's role? Please tell me, because I get confused about this. So.
Right. That's a tough one, because I would say it may even be a case by case. But like I said, I'm going to bring God into this discussion. I'm going to bring the divine into this discussion. I don't think it has changed at all. And I think men are still stronger than women, last I checked. I think biologically men are more left brain than right brain. I think men are more logical than emotional. So until the actual hardware of a man changes, I think he should do exactly what God put in him to do. Now, one thing that I have recognized is that we now have, because of modern day society, and think about it, because of all the technology, because of all the things that we have available to us. Okay, so a man may not be as physically, like, digging ditches or doing a bunch of physical work. Okay, so a man today does need to have more soft skills, because most men are not required to do hard labor anymore. And that's a benefit of being in a technological age. So I think in that regard, a man can adapt. He could read more. He could learn how to express himself better in writing and verbally. That's what I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see men adopt some core soft skills, because like I said, most men are not out there fighting wars, digging ditches. Yes, you have a percentage of men that do that, but a lot of men are working in offices, or working in tech, or working in hospitals or whatever. They're not doing that manual labor type of work. So I would say, they need to develop their soft skills, and they can adapt in that regard.
Very good. Very good. Last question. And then we'll read through the rest of these chats. And if anybody else has any more questions, make sure you put them in there. I see the chat is going, and I really, really appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going. Make sure you guys hit those super stickers and all that stuff, and hit the Cash App and Venmo if you want to buy me lunch. If you want to see me starve, then that's fine too. So, has feminism ruined women and modern dating? Has feminism ruined women and modern dating? Talk to me right now like you would talk to a feminist.
Yeah, fourth wave feminism, it has, because it doesn't support marriage. It doesn't support the collaboration of men and women coming together. And that's how everything happens. Feminists want you to believe that if all men were wiped off the planet, that, we wouldn't have wars, and we wouldn't have all these problems. No, that's not true. That's not true. All them cycling, all them different. No, we would be blowing up countries left and right. We would be infighting. And we've already proven that as women. Women, let me tell you something about men. Men are loyal to a fault. You talk about bro code? Men are like, oh, bro, okay, where you say you was at? Okay, yeah. And they all get on the same page. There is no breaking that alliance. Let 2 or 3 women come together and want the same man. Like we will kill our mother, okay, for a 6'4" NBA player. There is no loyalty amongst women at all. And that's why I think it's ridiculous to think that if all men disappeared off the planet, that everything would be kumbaya. No, it would not. Okay. No, it would not. We would have the same egoistic, well, I want to be in charge. No, I want to be, it would be a nightmare. We need the balance of the logic and the rationale. We are all in our feelings, irrational, illogical, and oftentimes irritating. So, yeah, no, that fourth wave feminism is destroying us. And you know where they really lost me? They lost me when they started to promote pornography. That's when I was like, this is of the devil. Once that happened, because for a long time in the 60s and the 70s, they did not promote pornography. They were very much against objectifying women, right? Now they say it's sex positive. Oh, it's sex work. What? So let me get this straight. You're a movement that supposedly supports women, but you encourage them to do things that hurt women. That don't make no sense. Okay? OnlyFans, pornography, sex work. Oh, it's just work. But these women are high, are drunk, are on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medicine. Okay, what?
The
That don't
last
make
10
no sense.
years, the last 10 years is, I forget the number, but all of them that have killed themselves or OD'd. Yeah, it's really, really, and a lot of the producers now and directors are women.
Yeah.
They're directing that. Okay, you
Yep.
go over here and do this harder.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yep. It's
Women
insane.
are doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. So please, it's one thing to say, yes, should men and women have the same opportunities? Should they make the same money, or should they have the opportunity to do the same job? Sure. But this whole, agenda of destroy the family, and if a man won't get on board, he's a misogynist. I mean, that's ludicrous. And toxic masculinity and this and that. That's ludicrous.
That lost me. That lost me, the whole toxic masculinity. That bothers me. That really, really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
To think that I have to, I don't want to say dumb down, but lesser my
Tamp down
masculine, tamp down my masculine presence,
Mm-hmm.
or holding doors open for women or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about? And I got to tell my son that, get out of here. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Black men have fought too hard to be called men.
exactly.
We fought too hard to be called men, and now it's no longer cool to be called a man. It's just, it's crazy.
Right. But some of this is the woke agenda, and you have to be very careful. This is why I'm always telling people to critically think. Okay, critically think. That's all I ask that people do. I even tell people the advice that I give. Critically think about it. Apply it or test it out. Tell me how it works, if it does or does not work. I'm not asking people to, just take everything I say as gospel. It's called critically thinking. We have to be willing to say, okay, why are they trying to eradicate? I mean, even the transphobia, right? I find it so interesting when they put phobia behind words, because I'm like, I'm not afraid of trans people. I'm not afraid of you. Like, what are you talking about?
I do not have an irrational fear of these people.
Right. So that's the first part. I'm like, that don't fit. Like, that's not a thing. I'm not afraid of trans people. That doesn't fit. But even this, it's almost like this gender neutrality. Yeah. So we don't want men, we don't want women. That I have a problem with that. They want to destroy all female spaces. Like, no, I'm a woman. I'm not instead of being a breastfeeder, I'm a chest feeder. I'm a child incubator. No, I'm a woman. I'm a woman.
Wow.
So that's,
I didn't hear the child incubator one.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to explain to these so-called feminist women. They want to eradicate you. See? So you talk about
destroying female spaces, right? So that's a big problem with me, because they want not only do they want to destroy those spaces, but they want to include themselves in men's spaces, right? I grew up
Right.
going to the boys club, and
Right.
there was a girls club not far away, and where the city where I'm in, there was a YMCA and a YWCA, but they want to join the YMCA, and they want the girls to go to the
Right.
boys club, and now it's called it's called the Boys and Girls Club. Well, why not just why? What are we doing? And now
Yeah.
the Boy Scouts are doing the same thing, being inclusive. It's just
Yeah.
so. Let's get to some of these
But that's
questions here.
where we're headed. That woke agenda.
Yeah, they're so woke that I don't want to go there. Let's see. This says Big L. Did you ask what value of a woman? I was thinking about doing that on one of my car rides, but I guess it's
Yeah.
asked here.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess I'll answer it here.
Mhm.
The value of a woman. I tend to be very, very traditional in my way of thinking. This is the way I grew up, and this is what I like. And I like the nurturing type of woman,
Mhm.
who is able to cook and clean and enjoys doing so,
Mhm.
and being a woman. And I don't have to wrestle and fight with you about doing quote unquote womanly duties.
Right.
If there's masculine duties, right, killing spiders, cutting grass, changing oil, fixing cars, and hanging up stuff and picking big stuff up and moving things around and doing other and protecting and providing and all that. If
Mhm.
my role is to do that, and I argued that role hasn't changed from the 1940s till 2024 and beyond. Why is the woman's role, has that changed? And I
Right.
think that's something that feminists really need to ask themselves. Well, why is this role change? We talked about the whole child support thing. What you want all these different perks, but you don't want to give up anything. So that is the value that a woman would bring to my life, to be
Mhm.
nurturing, to be an ear for me to talk to. Not that
Yeah.
I'm overly talkative, and I said that to somebody. He's like, "You do a podcast? What do you mean you don't talk?" So, but I just think that men and women are different in how they process the world, and those
Yep.
are things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a yin to my yang, and so what I present in masculinity, I want her to present in femininity. I'm not looking
Mhm.
for, and this has been said, this has definitely come from the manosphere and red pill spaces, and I totally agree with. I'm not looking for a boss chick. I,
Right.
I am
Right.
not looking for that. And I played a clip, and I play it all the time about Miss Ebony K. Williams,
Mm.
uh, who has said that guys don't go to school and boss up and all this type of stuff that they're doing to get someone else who's going to try to boss up. Because in her
Mm.
words, she said the pee goes boop boop boop, and it
Mm.
does for me. I am not attracted to that type of energy. I'm
Right.
not.
Right.
I'm not an argumentative person. Don't come at me arguing with me. Don't come at me trying to take over, control, tell me what to do, because that'll be the last conversation we ever have. I'm not a violent person. I'm not an argumentative person. It's just, listen, this is not going to work. It's not going to work
Yeah.
because this is the way things go. So those are the values that I would say. I think that I do know some women who are very, very good at um, detail
Mhm.
oriented.
Mhm.
I tried my best to be detail oriented. Sometimes I'm like finding mistakes like a day or two later. I'm like, how did I do that? Right. So so I like for my woman to read things over and take a look at this, to do this, that, and the other, because if I find mistakes 2 or 3 days later, that feels bad to me. So I think that women are a lot more detail oriented. My kids come over and they're like, man, dad, what's going on here? Right. So I'm like, listen, I'm doing the best I can. My daughter's yelling at me, listen, you got to clean this house, whatever, keep it
Right.
straighter. So I'm like, listen, that's why I hire a housekeeper. Right. She comes over
Right.
and she just does everything
Yep.
because that's just something that I need. Um,
Mhm.
so I'm not ashamed to admit any of that. So those are
Yeah.
some of the benefits that I think that have now that's going to go from person to person. And I
Mhm.
think that
Mhm.
women, and particularly in feminist circles, would say, they don't want to be, they want to be more than that. They want to be seen more than that, than a housekeeper
Mm.
or a
Mm.
breeder or whatever.
Mm.
And certainly I think that they can. I've seen some very competent women who are in
Mhm.
the workplace and all that. But that I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying I don't want my woman to work. I would prefer it not to be that way. But
Mhm.
but you can work and do whatever. But those are things that I like. So it's going to be
Yeah.
different. You're going to ask a different man about whatever's whatever, and he's going to give
That's
a
true.
different thing.
Yep.
So those are things that are valuable to me. To
Mhm.
me. Let's see. The children of single mothers don't have any idea what marriage is because they have not seen it modeled.
Mm.
I saw it in my church. My mother's a single mom. I saw it in my church. So I think that you can see it if you have uncles or aunts, uncles and aunts, different people. I think that you can see it. Um, it might be, and that's why I do think the value of church comes in at, because what you're missing in your own nuclear family, you can go to church and see it, see
Yeah.
how it is. And when I went to my different, we would all go to, like after church, we have two services on Sundays. We have a Sunday morning service and Sunday night service. So in between those two services, like we would go to different our friends' houses and eat over, right? So you see how they lived and all this kind of stuff. And all these guys, right? The guys when they were deacons of the church, they all had nice houses, right? Black men with nice houses. So I'm like, and my uncles were like this. So I'm like, man, this is going to push me to become this type of person where I can afford to have this type of thing. So that was definitely something that I think that men need to see, or boys need to see as they're growing up. So, let's see. Era Black TV. Money is an exchange. Money is what women say they want, and I think men are open to honesty and truth from a woman in general, as long as he isn't rejected. Here's a good one. Women are taking on more masculinity. Talk about this, Sister Anita. Here,
yeah, and that's being
Carter. Thank you.
Yeah, it's being rewarded. Remember, we as human beings, we do what is rewarded. So the behavior that we do, it gets rewarded. And so, yeah, we're not rewarding stay-at-home moms. We're not rewarding nurturing. We're not rewarding, being collaborative and cooperative. Like you said, there's a whole boss chick, boss bitch. That's a whole thing now. And so the women are starting businesses, and the women are, moving up the corporate ladder and all. So these things are rewarded. And that's why women are starting to lean into that. But like I said, at the end of that road, it's very lonely. It's very lonely because women are not designed to get their true worth and value from that.
If you have not, please make sure that you hit that like button. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see. Women are ragging on other women for that and many other reasons. The whole money thing that Era TV was talking about before. Era TV again. Era Black TV. Women aren't being honest with what they want from the man they're dealing with. I think women are trying to play a game of hard to get with men, and probably what women want to be more direct. Women are playing hard to get, not being honest. Do you think that they're being honest with the men that they're dealing with?
I say, again, this is going to be case by case. I know plenty of women who are being very honest. They're being very direct. And remember, if you live and breathe on social media, that's a very different beast than just talking to people in real life. I am in a lot of in real life communities. So I spend 80 to 85% of my time out here in the world. I'm a content creator, but I don't live and breathe on Instagram. I don't live and breathe on TikTok or YouTube. It takes me 30 minutes to an hour a day to create content. I upload it, and then I talk to real people. And that's what I encourage that people do more. Talk to real people. You see the craziest stuff online. Sometimes every blue moon, something crazy will come across my feed. And I'm thinking, yeah, thank God, I don't live in this space because, yeah, I don't see a lot of craziness just walking around at the mall, walking around at the grocery store. I really don't. I see normal people, trying to live their life and going to work. And, so that's what I want to encourage people to do more. I think people who are in this vacuum of social media, they get sucked in and they think that the, 15% of people, 20% of people that's on social media, they think that's 80% of people. It's not. It's not. Most people are just normal people. Most women are not, I'm going to be totally real with you. Here in Virginia, I don't see a lot of BBLs. I see them in Miami. I see them when I go on vacation maybe, but just walking around in Virginia, there are not a lot of women that have BBLs. There's not a lot of women that, have a bunch of work done. They're just regular women. They're like, I ain't got money for that. Like I'm just trying to pay the light bill. So I need a lot of y'all to just live life in real life, right? Join healthy communities. I belong to at least 10 healthy communities, hiking, bowling, going to the dog park, gardeners. I belong to a community of people who give back. The Forward Foundation, which is like it supports single moms. I'm in a lot of real life communities. A church. I belong to a church. I'm not seeing any BBLs in church. Okay, I'm just seeing regular women. Okay, so, y'all think that's everywhere? It's not.
You might get more men to come to church than more BBLs there.
You're right. Good idea.
The laws are about to change. I'm not too confident about that. Women still are a big voting block, and they're not about to cut their noses off. They're not about to let that happen. So I don't know how they're about to do that. So I know this is a big talking point, but I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna go by. I don't remember what we're talking about. 15%. I don't know if we're talking about marriage rates or what, but whatever we said was dismal.
Yeah.
Women are getting mad at all the changes in the law already. Roe versus Wade, and more changes are coming. I know they're going to try. They're going to try.
Yeah.
That is not practical. I believe leave what you came with, right? The whole divorce thing. The man should spend his money on children. If not, some other women will get it. Divorce benefits neither side. I can't pronounce this, so I don't know if that's Russian or Czech.
Very interesting title. Yeah.
LGBTQ wants things to be fair. They want to convert the heterosexuals. Heterosexuals have to keep the LGBT non-sexual types. I don't know. Every woman is not a high earner. That's true. That's true. A lot of people have taken a look at that.
Yep.
Yeah. Modernity has ruined relationships in the West. Yep. We're in agreement, brother or sister.
Yep.
We're in agreement. It's always interesting how the very women with higher level education that have benefited from the court system in marriage are anti-feminist.
Okay.
I haven't seen that either. I think that I know educated women who are very feminist, extremely feminist. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's been my a good woman helps men get money, not spend it on her, and she isn't even his woman. So she says women are being disrespectful of men that don't really like her claim, and other women want to spend it on them. Glorious Love says, ask Shaquille O'Neal about that man raising another man's seed. He made it a point to take care of his stepfather and thank his stepfather.
Yeah, that's a wonderful example. Right.
Black women did not invent feminism, nor do we benefit from it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're benefiting. I definitely think some are benefiting from it. Particularly with the woke agenda.
Right, but it was not our fight to begin with. And had we, paid attention to our families and our men and our cause, we wouldn't be in this position. So we needed to mind our business.
So that's a good point. So why did that happen? Why did you not mind your business? Why did you jump on that? Why did that occur?
I think that's the nature of women. I really do. I think that's just the nature of women. Oh, let's see what they're doing over here. How can that benefit us? Or let's see how that might actually, somehow benefit us. And they wound up putting their nose where it didn't belong. And you're right. Some women are benefiting from it. I think most of us are not, though. Most of us are not. So we don't. White women, they go to higher education to find a husband, and a lot of them do. They get an MRS degree. Black women are not being taught that. I taught my daughter. I told her, I said, you have until you're 25. And when you turn 25, from that day forward, you're looking for a husband. Okay? You're looking for a husband. You're looking for a father of your children. And that means that whoever you've been dating before this, nope, don't bring them home. Don't do that. You need to start looking for marriage material men.
At the age of 25? At the age of 25, that's when they should start?
Yeah, she has until 25. Okay, so guess what can happen by 25? You can get a bachelor's degree. You can get a master's or an MBA. You can go to med school. You can go to law school. But as soon as you're done with that, you need to start looking for a husband.
Should they be looking for husbands when they're in college?
I mean, ideally, but I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that modern day people are just not mature. Like they actually believe that their 20s are meant to be wasted, which is the most stupidest idea I've ever heard. So, modern day people, we're in a regressive state. We are in an extended adolescence. I had a woman come into my office and she was 37 years old. And I said, what's your intention for dating or what's your intention, for all of this? Well, I'm too young to be married. I'm too young to be someone's mother. That's what she said. 37? I darn near fell out of my chair.
It's almost grandmother age.
Right. I said, what is happening? Then I must be dead. Like, what? What is happening? But this is what we're teaching people. That 37 is too young to be someone's mother or to be a wife.
I've heard it. I've heard it.
Insane.
I've heard it. I've heard it.
That's insane.
Speak to this. The family men are the nerds and lames, right? So here's the idea that goes on in the red pill community manosphere, right? And the big pushback, and I got to agree with a lot of this statement I'm about to say, that women are taught to play around, as you just mentioned, enjoy your 20s, and then run around with the Pookies and Ray Rays, and then when you're ready, you find a good man to possibly take you on and your kids, right? This is why they're talking about the single mother epidemic, right? And this is why they're saying not to become stepfathers. This is why, because if I wasn't good enough when you're in your 20s and good enough to marry, why should I take you on when you're 35 with a kid or two?
Right.
So speak to that. And they're being shunted off and put on the back burner as well. I'll come back to him. I'll spin the block for this guy later on.
Right. And that's the dark horse. I want women to be open to that. I want you to explore what I consider to be the dark horse or the lames or the nerds. Like I need you to start out with this man. And let me tell you, I have seen some ugly ducklings become swans. I have seen some men when I went to college and I was like, oh, let me, what's this guy about? And 10, 20 years later, this guy had a growth spurt. This guy cleaned up his acne. And I was like, wow. So that's why I tell women, you have to start looking at the starting line, not the finish line. And we have to get rid of this idea that our 20s are meant to just be wasted. I just don't agree with that. Everyone who knows my story knows I was never attracted to non-educated men. I was never attracted. Like every now and again, we go to a Kappa party. Some dudes from DC, would come to Maryland, would come to University of Maryland, and they would come to the Kappa parties. And they stick out like a sore thumb. And so my girlfriend's like, yeah, who's that? I said, girl, I'm not interested. Like, if that man don't go to school here, if he not on track to get a degree, if he not going to school after this, I'm not interested. I've never been interested in the drug dealers or the Pookies or the Ray Rays, as y'all say. I'm interested in men that are going somewhere. I don't understand that. Like, I'm interested in men that are actually going somewhere. So I don't teach my daughters that. I never did that. My mom never did that. Like, we're hypergamous by nature. I want men that are better than me. And I get a lot of flack when I say that. I want a man who's better than me. I want a man.
Tell me what you get the flack. I want to hear I want to know what they say. What do they say when they're giving you flack about that?
Better. Okay, so that's implying that you're less than. That's implying. No, that's simply stating that I want a man who's competent in his field of study, whatever that is. I want a man who I can trust. I want a man that I can depend on and rely on. So here's a great example. I dated a firefighter. And an EMT. And when I tell you that man was great at his job, that man, he knew a lot about a lot in regards to that area of study. And I had a lot of respect for him because, and I've just said, yeah, this guy is like, look at him. He's amazing. He's strong. He's fit. And he knows a lot about, fires and about medical things. And I find that very attractive. So in some way, a man has to be better than me. I need to look up to him. Okay. If I'm going to stay emotionally and sexually attracted, I have to look up to him. I cannot, and that's wired in me. That's why when these girls were dating these guys and they were having sex with them, I was like, ugh, like, I cannot, I cannot remain attracted to a man that's less than me. I can't. So that's just me. I'm hardcore hypergamous. My mom, her mom, my mom's sisters, they all married men doing better than them, wealthier than them, more educated than them. Like, they need to look up to their man. And again, I personally believe that we're wired this way, but we've had it ripped out of us. And guess what? Now modern day women say they should be better. I should be the one that's more educated and have more money and have more things. And then wonder why they don't have sex with their husband.
Do they wonder? Man, you're bringing on some, man. You are. Do they wonder why? Do they wonder why?
Well, the husband wonder why.
Well, I definitely know the husband wonder why. What's going on here? So, but I absolutely agree with you. I think that if you're not, I think that a woman doesn't, in your verbiage, look up to the man.
Yes,
she's gonna stop having sex with him.
She sure is.
We all know what the physics are of this. If you can't avail yourself, if you can't avail yourself to somebody, you got to avail yourself to someone who's better than you. You got to look up to him. You got to allow him to enter you, right? I'm not a woman, but I'm just thinking, how can you do this?
It's the truth.
How can you do this?
Yeah, he is the ravisher. I am the ravishee, right? So like you said, he is entering me. And so, yes, I expect him to dominate. Like, even when I use that term, when I tell people I am a submissive in lots of ways, right? I seek to be dominated. That is attractive to me. Okay. And so, oh God, oh, that's horrible. Why would you say such a thing? Okay, well, maybe y'all don't like sex like that. But if I'm gonna have it, I want to be dominated. I want to know I had it. Okay. I don't want this tiptoeing around and the next day I'm like, did something happen last night? No, I want to know I had it. Like, yeah. Ooh, baby, okay then. Like, I mean, but I don't know. Maybe today's modern women, and that's another theory I have, that modern women, their sexuality has been it's been eradicated, right? Their sexuality has been eradicated because they're not in their feminine. They can't allow the penetration of a man. So a lot of women's sexuality is like null and void. It's been eradicated because they have rejected their natural feminine way. So no, I don't want that. Okay, we got some praise hands.
Yeah. Cassandra says the man should approach the woman. We talked about that. You just mentioned that these women are more masculine. Their femininity has been eradicated. Their sexuality has been eradicated, and it's praised for this. Yeah. So now you got, and this is a thing now where, and I was just on somebody else's live last night. I was just watching. I was a spectator, and they were saying that women want to approach the men, and they want to, approach the men and get their number, get their Instagram, and this is the way it's got to be, because the men have been forced down, tamped down. The men have been forced down, tamped down. A Me Too movement. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me in a parking lot. A man should never approach a woman in a parking lot. Stop staring at me in the gym. All this type of stuff, right? So men are just like, okay, we're just completely recoiled from all this type of thing. And now the idea is that women should be approaching aggressive. That way, it's okay. And the men are being conditioned this way. How do I know if it's okay to approach a woman? Because now I'm just going to not do anything and wait for her to approach me. I'm like, don't you guys you hear what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. It's awful. But again, these types of relationships, they're not polar opposites. In order to remain sexually attracted, we have to have one of each. We have to be polar opposites. There has to be a submissive and a dominant. And so, we're either reversing the polarity, or we're just canceling it out. And so, yes, I mean, that's why sexless marriages are like at an all-time high. It's insane.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's there's no way I would. There would, and I'm not dealing with sex. Well, you'll be sexless. I won't be sexless.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not. I'm not gonna be.
Um,
Don't feel bad for the man, the woman, kids suffer, and adults say what's going on with the kids. Hello to Miss Amelia. Thank you so much. You had the praise hands here too. Thank you so much. People are people. People are going to react to immediate influences.
mm,
Yeah, they're going to be. They're definitely going along with the program. What
right.
about what's going on in the community and in society? I agree with that.
Yep.
The men are on dating apps. They are not approaching women. Um, I don't think that. I don't think that's the case. I think men are checked out. They're not. They're not talking
Right.
to women. They're not on dating apps. A lot more men are getting off dating apps, and a lot
Yep.
more of them are refusing to talk to women. And
Yep.
again, what I just said, they're just rather just sit back and wait, just wait,
Yeah.
which is
Yep.
crazy.
And that's what's happening.
You're right. You're not going to start off with 500K talking about
Right. The dark
making sure.
horse. Yes. You need to
Right,
pick the
right.
dark horse, ladies. You need to look and look what I often tell women. I want you to go to every college reunion, high school reunion. Like I need you to because there's a good chance that someone you should have chose back then. Like, see, you need to look for the dark horse. Yeah.
Black women are aware of what an eligible bachelor looks like. Why? Because black women base their expectations on image over substance. I think you meant
Mhm.
to write not aware. I think that's what you meant to write. Black women
Yeah.
are well
Yeah.
aware. Are they
Yeah.
well aware of the eligible bachelor? If they are, then they're certainly not choosing them to any great or high degrees. I
Right.
would say, and I'm basing that on our marriage statistics, divorce statistics, and out of wedlock birth rates. That's what I'm saying. That's what I
Mhm.
would base that on. So, men want to see women who are hot for. See women holler at the men they want.
You say men, that's what men want? Okay, maybe.
Well,
But
we definitely want
again,
an attractive woman. There's no
right.
doubt about that. But it's the whole Madonna whore complex
Right.
ideology, right? So we want a
Right.
beautiful woman, but we only want her for ourselves. And
Right.
if I see you at a pool party or a beach or at a nightclub and I see you all dialed up and stuff, but
Right.
then I don't want you dressing like that ever again once we get married. Right. But
Exactly.
the idea is, well, this is how you met me. So you
Right.
can't as men, you got to understand you can't have it both ways. So
That's right.
you as a man got to select better as well. You got to select better.
Hmm.
Vanity controls black women's psyche. Facts, vanity controls women and don't want to be in love with a vain, vanity-driven woman. Uh,
Mm.
Men fall in love every day and with every other magical and beautiful woman he sees. I don't know about that. Fall in love.
Yeah. Every day. No, no, no.
Divorce and remarriage is unbiblical, though. You want to speak to that about getting
So
prospects of getting married again?
right. And I've had a couple of people come on my platform when I talk about being a wife again. My understanding is that once the covenant of my marriage has been broken, okay, a lot of this talk is about what's considered to be so the oh, it's going to run right out of my head. So it's just like how people want to support polygamy. They want to support polygamy with the Bible. They say the old covenant supported polygamy. But what I keep telling people is under the new covenant, once Jesus came down to earth and became a man and he died for all of our sins, the old covenant was done away with. And same is true about the old covenant when it comes to divorce and not being able to remarry. No, if the covenant between you and your spouse is broken, and if that covenant is broken by way of adultery, that person is free to remarry. So that's the argument I get a lot is old covenant versus new covenant. But there is a reason why the Bible goes from Genesis to Revelation. So what started out one way when Jesus came on the scene was finished another way. So I keep telling people, read all the way through. Okay, you stuck in the old covenant. Keep going. Keep reading. Okay, and you will see that once he came on the scene, yes, adultery it breaks the covenant. It breaks the covenant between a man and a woman. And so now, yes, and God gives you the choice. Yes, you could divorce this person. You could leave this person if they committed adultery. Doesn't mean you have to, but you could. But yes, you would be free to remarry. So I get that argument a lot on my channel. Oh, you can't remarry. You shouldn't say that. Okay, well, watch me. Watch me do just that.
We'll continue on with the marriage conversation here. Glorious Love says, what about a woman? You talk about men. You went a red flag for you as a man who has been married more than once. What about for the ladies who have multiple divorces? I'm going to tell you as a man, I wouldn't date a woman with multiple divorces.
Right.
I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, because again, it's a pattern. Now, I will say this: women tend to be more resilient emotionally than men are. And again, history has shown us this, studies have shown us this. Women are more resilient emotionally because men, again, they are not as relational as women. You know, they are more logical and rational. They're over on this side. Women, you know, we have things happen every day that are relational and we process it. We feel a way about it, process it. Whereas men being more logical and rational, oh, this doesn't make sense. I'll just push it down. These feelings don't make sense. This emotion doesn't make sense. I'll just push it down and push it down and push it down. So women are more resilient emotionally. Would I say a woman can, you know, marry a man and divorce and marry another man and fall madly in love with him? Sure. I think anybody could. I think women tend to be more resilient. That's the reason why women historically will remain in a marriage when there's infidelity. And men historically will not. Like once another man has penetrated a man's woman, he's good. He's like,
you ain't lying about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm good.
Yeah, good.
Whereas,
I also think that's another facet of the emasculation of men in the masculation of women and the effeminization of men is that these dudes are staying with these women after they stepped out on them.
Yep.
I don't listen. I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
crazy.
I'm good.
It's crazy.
I'm good.
I've seen it. I've seen it in my practice where a guy came in, he told me the story. And so I look at him, I look over at her, and look, she ain't even repentant. She ain't even sorry. And I just give him the look like, we done here. Like, you good. Well, I just want to work it out. You sure? Like, you sure you want to do that? Like, I give him the look. Like, what is happening right now?
What is happening right now? I work with professionals on a daily basis, and Black women professionals pursue losers over moderately and or average earning Black men with the potential to be a leader and provider. Listen, I'm telling you, I mean, it wasn't a lot, but I posted that video the other day, and a couple of ladies were like, "You're crazy. Why would you do this? Why would you do that?" Here's another person saying it. Here's another person saying it, and I had to add something to a description in the video that I posted because I'm like, listen, this isn't just Big L saying this. Right. This is something I've run into a number of times, and I think when I say it, it seems as if I'm just some butthurt guy who's a corny lame himself, and I can't attract women.
Right.
Here's these other people are saying the same thing that unfortunately there's too many Black women who are selecting Pookies, Ray Rays, and losers. Yep. And these women are college educated. Listen, I'm telling you, when I was a police officer, I used to see there was a college professor who was fighting with a Pookie and a Ray Ray. There was a vice principal who at 3 o'clock in the morning was banging on this dude's door. Right. Another one was parked on the side of the road, arguing with this dude who was at least 18 years old, Hispanic dude. I'm like, what am I watching here?
I know.
So this isn't just something that I've experienced. It's all these different people who are saying the same thing. And I'm saying this to say our selecting patterns within the Black community have to change. Yeah. Men and women. But a woman has to be able, you are the gatekeepers, as you say. You're the gatekeepers. You have to be more selective as to who you allow to enter your body. And if you're allowing Pookies, Ray Rays, and losers to enter your body, and you are a professional with a master's degree, highfalutin, mover and shaker, boss chick, and you getting with somebody just letting them drive your car around the city where you at work.
See? It can't be me. It cannot be me. And it never has. Like I said, I have a pretty good reputation, and they're like, nope, Anita don't roll like that. No, I am hypergamous. I want a man who's better than me. And I proudly say it. I want a man who's better than me. But keep in mind, when the roles reverse, isn't that interesting that a woman in her masculine is choosing down? See, the roles have reversed. That's all that's happened because, right, I'm the masculine and he's the feminine. See? So the roles have simply reversed.
So don't get on me when I say I want somebody what I want. Because
Right.
I like to think that I'm a masculine man and I know what I want. And I want to
Good.
be, to use your verbiage there, I want to be the penetrator.
Yeah,
Not
I know that's right.
the dominator.
That's right.
Women are not loyal at all. Is that a result? Is it true, first of all? And is it a result of the modern landscape?
I think, yeah, out here in the modern landscape, women are definitely not as loyal as men. I will say that. Women are not as loyal as men. And some of it, if I'm being honest, is our hypergamous nature. We want the best option, right? We're wired to want the best option. And that's why if a woman gets with a man and she deems him to be her best option and he falls off, she's suddenly, I am not attracted to him. What is going on? Because that man took his foot off the gas. We want the best option. And so if all these other men are zooming past you, it is in our nature to want the best option. That's why I tell men, apply pressure, apply your foot to that gas. Because, if this is the man she got with in the beginning, and you were doing all these great things and you were about all this stuff, if you start falling off, that is in a woman's nature. Like, I thought I picked a winner. What's happening?
It's funny. It's funny, and it's well said that a men pick a woman who never changes, who they don't want to change, and women pick a man who they want to change, improve. But if you're a man, you see your woman. Wait a minute, you weren't dressing like that yesterday. Why are you dressing like that now? Right? You used to cook all these different meals. Now you're not cooking anymore. Right? So we really are looking for two totally different things. We really are.
Yeah.
Whatever you said, Veronica says that was masterful. So,
okay.
Let's see. Forgive me. I know this is Russian or Czechan or something. Black men are learning to leave U.S. Black women alone. Why? There's an entire world out there, and Black men do not have to date interracially when a Black man can date interculturally. What do you think about the passport bro movement, and all that? What are your thoughts about that?
So my dad's been a passport bro for over 28 years. He lives in the Philippines the majority of the year. He comes back here every, 9 to 12, 18 months. He has a company here. He has a business here. And his wife is Filipino. I have a Filipino younger brother who's 17, half Filipino brother who's 17. And, I'm all about us just finding something real. To me, it doesn't matter. Find something real. Find a person that will co-create a healthy relationship with you. I've never been mad about anyone dating out of their race, out of their culture, out of their religion. Find something real. That's the side of the coin that I'm on. Please find a person who loves you, who you can love, and you can build a great life together. But I will say this, a woman is a woman. See, that's what people are not telling men. A woman is a woman, right? If she bleeds, if she has a uterus, she gonna have some cyclical ups and downs. She gonna have some, a woman is a woman. It's almost like men want a woman to not be a woman, and she's gonna be a woman. A woman's jealous and possessive by nature. Like, you're still going, you still gonna get some stuff. You're gonna get a fiery Latina, or you're gonna get a Filipino, or you're gonna get a, whatever. Like, a woman is still a woman. Okay. But if you can find something real, if you can find something genuine, that's the side of the coin I will forever be on. Just find something real. That's all. Wherever you find it, I'm good.
Question: what is your opinion on a single mother doing the same job as a single man but earning less money? They have the same level of education and similar work experience. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Mm,
There's no job that you walked into
yeah.
and they're going to give you a lesser amount of money because of you're a woman.
Yeah,
That doesn't
that's a
exist.
pretty obvious, right? It's a pretty
Yeah.
obvious case you got there. I would assume, yeah, no.
I want to get through this. We've been on an hour and 40
Yeah.
minutes. I don't know.
Okay.
Listen, I could talk for a long time, but I don't know how much time you have. So
Yeah.
um they say bleeders as well. Jeez.
Yeah. The
Jeez.
woke thing, like I said, I speak out about that all the time. That's just not going to happen. It's a sickness. It's a virus. And I keep telling people you have to critically think because they want to eradicate gender altogether, if I'm being honest. And I'm a woman. Last I checked, I'm a woman. Most men want a woman. so yeah, no. Mm.
Everybody came went to a sperm bank to get Pookie seed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Trying to find some good comments here.
Okay. Or any questions?
Yeah, any more questions here? Hi, Anita. I love your work. You've changed my life in so many ways. Thank you.
Thank you. That makes it all worth it. That makes it all worth it. I always say that if one person is helped, that makes it all worth it.
Please appreciate that your wife may still need an assistant from a housekeeper. No, maybe 2 or 3 times a year for a whole house deep clean. Well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us where we can find your channel and what you got coming up, or any big things coming up.
I do. So I will be in London Wednesday through the following Tuesday. I will be filming a podcast over there. His platform is called Stay Slick with Kit. So I've decided to make this trip a pleasure trip, but also a work trip because rarely do I just take complete time off. So I will be on the Stay Slick with Kit podcast. He is a UK YouTuber and content creator. I'm trying to get in touch with Chingy with the Black Swan Academy. I would love to be on her podcast. So we're going to be doing something soon. And just check me out on YouTube, Better Love Movement. The channel is growing slowly but surely. I am committed to trying to get that 100K, So I just said I'm going to keep, making content. My Instagram platform is growing. So check me out over there. I appreciate you all.
25 is too old. I think I agree with that. My girl says 25 too old. I think
Okay.
they should start looking at 19. I do.
Okay.
But I let me ask you this: do you think it's going to change? Do you think we can undo what's been done, or you think it's going to progressively get worse?
It will get worse before it gets better. And I do think because we've swung so hard to one side, we have to go back. We have no choice. We have to go back. And as I've already predicted, the next 6 months, are going to be unprecedented. So I just want people, don't be shocked. Nothing that happens in these next 6 months is going to shock me at all.
What do you foresee happening in the next 6 months? What are your thoughts?
Between what's happening with the election, that could go all kind of ways crazy. We're going to see just some more spiritual things happen here on the earth because people are just so, lost. They're just so lost right now. And, as I always tell people, I don't put my faith in man. I don't put my faith in the government. I will not vote. I do not vote anymore. And I'm happy to say that because it doesn't matter. It does not matter. All of this will, it'll come to an end when our divine decides that it will come to an end. And I'm getting ready for that, right? I'm getting ready for that. I'm making sure my heart and my mind and my spirit and my soul is ready for that. I don't put my faith in man. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's going to get wild. It is going to get worse before it gets better. I mean, we just saw the opening Olympic Games. how they had what is it, the drag queens and all of this, and then they did some sort of skit where it was like the Last Supper. I mean, it's getting bold. Like
I
they're
didn't see
getting,
any. I didn't watch it. I didn't know any of that.
yeah, please check that out. They're just getting emboldened. It is just absolutely emboldened. So yeah, it put your faith in God. Okay, that's what I tell people. Stop worrying about who's going to be in the White House and all of it. No, I put my faith in God. That's it.
Absolutely. Let me see a couple more comments here. That's because they have been ran through in their youth, and their husband doesn't bring any excitement. Basically, they miss the streets. They punish husbands out of boredom. Talking about the
Mhm.
sexless marriages. I agree with that. That's why.
Mhm.
That's why I would advocate to get married younger, right? So you
Right.
don't ever
Yeah,
get into the streets, so you will have nothing to miss or compare it to.
I
So
agree.
that's that.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
Um, Approaching men is very unattractive. I agree with
Hmm.
that. I don't approach men, so I don't know. But it's how does a ordinary man she married compete with a 6'5", 200-pound lineman from college? So he's talking about what you've done in college, you've been ran through in college, and then next thing you
Right.
know, you want to
Right.
try to marry some 5'8" guy who's
Yeah. Yeah.
so it makes it difficult. Uh Shirley just got up from a nap. Thank you so much. Let's see. I think I'll probably try to end it off there. I don't see too many other questions here. A
Okay.
lot of
Good.
lot of things going on there, but I do appreciate that.
Hmm.
Okay,
This
so
was a
enjoy your time.
Yeah. This was an
And
awesome conversation. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
oh, listen, you are so impressive to me. The first video I saw, I'm like, who's this lady? Clicked on it.
Okay.
I was captured or captivated ever since. So I
Hmm.
certainly appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate a big time person like you who's been flown out to London
Yeah.
is being a podcast coming on my little lowly podcast here. So I certainly appreciate it. I'm hoping and I'm seeing and envisioning you getting to that 100K mark. And I just hope that
Yes.
you
Yes.
you remember
And
that.
we are going to get there. We are going to
Yeah,
get
just remember
there.
the little people when you get there. So,
That's
who's
right.
this
We
Big
going
Al? I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Yep, we're gonna get there because our voices are needed. I keep telling people this, that unlike 25-year-old podcasters, we actually have life experience. We've actually done some things. We've actually, like, it's not a theory for us. It's how we've lived. So yeah, I think both of our voices are needed right now.
Now, I asked you this before, but I'll kind of ask you again. It's growing. I know that you said that this is our voices are needed. And you said something to me in an email that the 40 or plus 40 people are making podcasts and
Mhm.
that
Yep.
it's growing. I actually looked it up and you're absolutely right.
Yep.
I want to know, do you think that we're having an effect? Do you think that we're have this podcast, your podcast, the other
Yeah.
podcasts that you're going on, these older gentlemen, Rich Cooper, right? Do you think they're
Yep.
really changing some lives? Do you really think that they're a part of the pendulum swing?
Right. So slowly but surely, because here's what we know: when women who have participated in hookup culture, right, it's going to smack them in the face that, oh, wow, this doesn't work. This doesn't feel good. I hate myself. They're going to need someone's arms to run into. I hope it's mine. I hope it's my arms. Run into my arms. Now, I can't take away what you've already done, but I can teach you from this day forward. Like, this is how you need to move. Okay? So that's what I'm here for. I want to teach, especially young women. I don't want them to get caught out there. But if they happen to dip their toe out and they go, oh, this don't work. Okay, come on over here, baby. Like, come on. Yeah, because I'm gonna teach you how to do this correctly. That's what I hope will happen. I think it will happen. And we just have to be persistent. That's it.
Very good. Very
Yep.
good. A lot of good comments still coming in here. A lot of men, women, most have not been run through. So
Hmm.
discipline should be encouraged. So thank you guys so much for coming on to the platform and to the podcast. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for keeping the chat going. Make sure that you please hit that like button on your way out if you have not hit it yet. That's very, very important.
Hmm.
Share the video as well, right? Share the
Yep.
video. I got some banners here I need to put up here. If you have any show ideas,
There you go.
make sure that you are putting just send me an email about any show ideas.
Hmm.
Let's see what else. If you're looking for a life coach, police expert, or a one-on-one session, again, hit me up. Visit my website there. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah,
Help grow the
especially the likes.
channel. That's right. It's free.
Yeah.
It takes a millisecond.
And I say this, and I think that if you watch anybody's video, if you
should
more
like
than
it,
half,
right?
more than half of it, you really should hit that like button. My
I
video,
agree.
anybody's video, you really should like it,
I
right?
agree.
Because
Yep.
it captured. Or hit the down button and tell me why, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to respond and tell you why you're wrong. But at least we have a dialogue, right? So
Right.
so with that, I want to say, please post my email. Yeah, it should be on the screen right now.
Okay.
So thank you so much. So yes, Mo Carter says we're great together, so we can probably do this again.
Yeah.
Listen, we gotta get Miss Anita when she's finished being a jet skier, jet setter, I should say, flying across the world and stuff. So thank you so much for coming on, and we will see you guys. I'm thinking about send me an email too, or let me know your thoughts. I was thinking about doing this once a week on Sundays, and I want to do 2 shows. And one show maybe more about relationships, and the other show is really about self-improvement. That's really what I want to talk about, is self-improvement. So I'm thinking about doing self-improvement on Wednesdays, and then do the relationship stuff on Sundays, right? So
awesome.
that's just a thought. So let me know, send me an email or send me a comment or something along those lines, or respond in here to the comment section about those thoughts. But I think that self-improvement is so much better, and I think that if men in particular would concentrate, focus on themselves, get in the gym, right, eat right, exercise, go back to school, become more astute readers, right, become better, and then you will give the women something to look forward to, look up to, and then you won't have to be crying and complaining about what's going on. I agree it's a problem, but if you focus on other things, then it won't be such an issue. So
good advice. Yeah.
So all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you again to Miss Anita. We'll see you guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.